But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
All right, welcome to the 183rd episode of the World Blockchain Roundtable weekly episode.
Apocalypse edition.
Yes, this is going to be an interesting show today. We've had a show where we interviewed John McAfee when he was on the Lam, but we've never had a show where we had an interview from Prison Block or whatever you call it, right? So that'll be fun today. Today, our hosts are Andrew Joseph and Zach Kaiser from the Legacy Right. Joining. This will be good. All right, and Zach apparently has to leave at the hour and a half mark for his car, and Andrew is apparently just going to follow him out because they come as a team, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They're really just the same person in two different alternate realities.
Yes,
I'm actually Andrew Joseph, and he's Zach Kaiser.
Yep, that works.
Right.
Okay, then we have Sean, Satoshi Sean, everyone's best friend, and we have Greg from Rivet. We might have Lee coming on, Kif's Crypto, right? And we might have, I don't know if Lisa's coming on or not.
No, she's at the doctor's.
Okay. Well, hopefully everything's good with Lisa as well. But maybe we'll have people popping in. Let's see here. First, a quick update on the World Blockchain Roundtable layer ownership tokens distribution from last week's episode, because this is the only, it's the first, but it might be the only DAO-based podcast where if you get a question on the air or you're on the panel, you get ownership. So you get to vote on various things about the show, the topics, and who's allowed to talk and all types of stuff like that.
That is only, by the way, if you ask the question in the lair, not if you happen to get our attention with one of the comments. So you got to sign up. That's
right. It has to be in Den, it has to be posted in the lair, it has to be voted, ranked, all that stuff. And if we don't get to it, even because there are too many questions, like today there were a lot of questions, might not get to them all. So you might or might not get points for that and ownership. But either way, last week's episode was preppers and blockchain. Every host from last week will receive 333 lot. Every topic contributor or question was 66 lot. Last week's theme was nominated by Bit by the Coin, who will receive 66 lot also. The ownership tokens come with the passive income from the layer itself in mining, but also free edits in the layer. So if you make a mistake, you don't have to pay extra energy to change it. And governance votes, which is the most important thing about it. So we have, and I'm going to throw it up here. We have, first of all, to cover a vote, which is pending still. You can see that I have 14% of the vote here. I think I went down from last week. But anyway, that the vote is, what are the themes for the month of December? So there will be 4 weeks in December. We have to pick the themes. They will be ranked and ordered by the voting. However, we can rearrange them if the topic makes sense, if there's some event or holiday or something. So the first possibility, blockchain in China. We don't have any votes for it yet, right? Second vote, meme coin madness. I placed my vote there. You can see. I might change it still, but I think I want to see meme coin madness. It might be fun. Something I'm usually not in favor of. It's kind of, but whatever. Debunking common crypto or blockchain myths. No votes yet. Is crypto and the world becoming decentralized or centralized? One voter for 11%. I am for I am. Oh, I am for I am, by the way, is out today. What was it? He's traveling today, can't make it. I meant to say that at the beginning as well. He wanted to be here because I think he might have nominated. Maybe he created this today's show nomination. But either way, blockchain and quantum, no votes. Freestyle blockchain content, that's always fun, no votes. Debunk or prove conspiracies with blockchain, no votes. Another exclusive. The real Satoshi Nakamoto reveals himself on the live show. How are we going to swing that? I mean, I'm happy we got SBF, but to get Satoshi, who's almost as great as SBF for his
maybe he's right on the panel right now.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah. I've heard various things about his physical appearance. Might be Santa's perfect blockchain. That's always up there. You know, maybe I should vote for that to make sure it gets up there. And then Roger Ver's case update and its effect on blockchain. If we get that, we can probably get Aaron Day on, right? So somebody should vote for that. All right. And we have a few days. It was posted on the 20th, so we have like 6 days left to vote on that. So get in there and vote if you can, please. And let's see here. That's it. Okay, so now we go to the theme of the week. I'm going to go back here. Theme of the week this week. How would SBF answer questions about blockchain? Episode 183. The more, by the way, while you're here, share the episode. Make sure people are watching this. That's how we get more governance votes. So anybody who gets a question in will get more governance votes. So, okay. First up, do we have anything to cover before we open the questions and bring in SBF to answer them? Do we want to cover anything on the panel before that? Any comment?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
All right. I hear some noise in the background. Just so okay. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
We're about to be pink mist, but that's for current events.
Oh yeah, that's current events. Do watch. Stay tuned to current events. ICBMs flying.
If we don't make it far enough,
end times prophecies. I still blame all of you Texans out there. I am's not here, but Sean is for the red heifers. That has a play in the whole mix. The red heifers coming from Texas. If you Texans would have done something, we wouldn't be where we are today. Okay, all right. So here we go. I'm going to refresh this so that we get the latest questions sorted accordingly. Votes. You're going to get to see my votes on stuff. So, okay. First question, and I guess maybe we need to bring in SBF and make the introductions. So I'm going to remove this from the screen. I'll refresh it again so everything's fair. So we will still refresh it. You have like a couple more minutes to get a question in if you want a question to be answered by the great SBF. Okay, so here we go. And hello, SBF. Hello, SBF.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yeah. I think they had trouble with Sorry, we were running a little late. There were some audio technical problems with the prison block there. Is it echoing or something like that? Can you hear us?
Yeah, there's a little echo in here, I think, but that's because it's all the metal around here. But thank you for
wants to know, do they let you take Adderall in prison?
Of course. At Club Fed we can have everything.
Okay, that's good to know.
That is good. That is nice. Okay.
It requires a doctor's note, but that's not hard.
Fair enough.
Cool. Okay.
I can't really see you, but I can hear you. Okay.
Have you made friends? Have you made friends?
Well, my Sally is PP Diddy.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Sally? Is
you
that
got
what they call it?
Yeah, my cellmate. We call him Sally's. PP Diddy.
Wow.
So you got friends in low places, huh?
Yeah.
Any new tattoos?
Well, he's been very intimate with my case, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you any new tattoos? Do you get any prison tattoos? I don't see any
no,
tears. You have not killed anyone yet, right?
no, not yet.
Okay. All right. Very good.
I'm just trying to stay alive. And by the way, I have a tennis tee and a tennis time that I'm gonna have to leave soon. But
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we can start. We'll start questions straight away. Then is that all right?
That's fine. Does anyone have any other questions about me and who I am?
Lots. Oh my God, you got to explain the what tweet.
The what? What?
The what tweet.
The what tweet? Yeah.
Let me ask my attorney. No, I can't.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I have a question
I
for
can
you.
help myself.
But you're allowed to. You can speculate all you want, and I might give you a yes or a no.
Oh,
Okay.
Fair enough.
Greg, do you have any thoughts?
Well,
I don't know.
I'll have to think about how to frame my question.
All right. We can interleave questions between, right? But we'll try to get through some of these. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to refresh this one more time. So we have everything up to date. Everything is as fair as possible for any of the questions. So question number 1, anonymous. All right. This is excellent.
Ooh.
Hey, what do you tell fellow inmates that you're in for? What do you think? What do you tell fellow inmates?
Parking tickets.
Parking tickets.
And I tell them that banking problems, issues with banks is what I tell them. And then they just draw the conclusion that maybe he's a bank robber and a badass, and they kind of leave me alone at that point.
That's pretty smart.
That is smart.
And so you don't use like your
Ingenious.
parents or that Gary or any of that stuff.
Uncle
maybe-
Gary, no, I don't mention that, and
Okay.
no.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Dude, and I guess since we aren't all answering these questions, this is a new thing, right? This is all questions for one person. I hadn't thought about that. So I guess if anybody has anything to add to it, for instance, does anyone know who you are? And if so, are you like giving the guards crypto picks or anything else, any alpha?
There we go.
Crypto picks to the guards. Well, I don't want to get into trouble with the guards because they bring me things. So I don't like to give them any kind of crypto picks. So I just try to tell them to just stick with Bitcoin and stick with the big coins. And the big coins will probably give you a fairer return and a better return, especially than fiat, because of the inflation problems that we see with the overprinting by the Federal Reserve. And so therefore, if I just provide them with solid information like that, then they can will keep bringing me the things that I need from outside inside. And I don't give them any kind of like meme coin shit coin advice, because if it goes bad, then my supplies get cut.
Or other things.
Gotcha. So it's really more of an incentive-driven advisory role. That makes sense.
Very good.
Do you think that in prison the incentives are aligned better for giving good financial advice than out of prison?
Well, it's there's a really nice law library, but there's even a better crime library here that's shared openly and secretly and quietly, and that information like you can make a lot of money after you've done your time. You really can if you just apply yourself.
Okay, so really just dream big and don't give up, and you can make your prison time into lemonade, so to speak.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
well, real quick. There is the law library any different than the crime library, or is it? I guess it's the same people that would.
Well, one's written on paper and one is spoken to the ear.
I see.
Or tattooed on somebody else's ass forcibly.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, that's preferable, man. That's an easy access, right? I mean, if it's tattooed on their ass, you don't have to go to the library.
That's where you
best secrets are there.
Okay.
Yep.
Next one is Michael James or Jameson. I'm not sure if it's James or Jameson because it's cut for me here. Let me expand this real quick. Oh, Michael James Smathers. Okay, I knew I needed to see that. All right. My question for SBF. Sam, do you completely understand that the Supreme Court ruling that has never been overturned, Yikwo versus Henderson, 118-356, I don't know what that number means, identifies you as the owner and creditor to the entire system, which is currently imprisoning you? That's
Okay.
interesting.
Now, you see, when Yikwo went after me with that, I had to defend the whole system, and it was very difficult. But in the end, I went ahead and made everyone the owner of the system and the creditor.
Oh, is that what it is? Was that you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's me.
that sounds like Satoshi. Okay. The answer to this one, well, first of all, kind of like how in debates, like questions are given out to certain candidates. Well, I was given this question beforehand, so I was able to study, and I went to the law library, and I also studied a lot about this case. And this case is if you can give me time to explain it, because it's very detailed and intricate,
Sure.
I can answer it.
Sure.
But I need to stay focused. So Yikwo, it was Yikwo versus Hopkins, and it was a case in San Francisco in 1886. And what had happened was Yikwo was actually a Chinese citizen. He was not an American citizen. And there were a lot of laundry facilities that would do garments and clean your clothes and that kind of thing. And he was, they were all mandated to have a particular permit, and that they had to be in a wooden building. And he met all of those requirements, but he never got his permit. And nobody got their permit if they were Chinese. And there was only one permit that was issued, and the issue to the one permit was given to a white man. And so he was in prison for still laundering clothes, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And I think it was a unanimous decision that basically it was a violation of his ethnicity, and therefore a violation of the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
And hopefully I'm not talking too fast, but that's what I do. So anyway, so what happened was with Woe was, it went to the Supreme Court, and everybody said, well, good, this is good, because he won, and that the law should be applied equally to everybody, even if because you are a person. It doesn't matter if you're a U.S. person or a non-U.S. person. And that's really what it was all about. But see, people forget, and with this, I don't know what was the gentleman who asked the question, but people forget and don't think about it. It's really a 3-point ruling. It's not a 1-point ruling, but everyone only talks about Equal Protection Clause in the 14th Amendment with the Wu case. That's all they talk about. They don't talk about the other part. And the other part is really important, which is number 2, and that is that we are above the law because we have inalienable rights, and our rights actually are above the law, essentially. So when you're trying to impose something that is illegal or incorrect, really you're above the law, in the sense that I'm not saying it correctly as far as being approved above the law, but basically it's universality of the individual rights. The individual rights trump the state, and they trump the government, which is a liberty standpoint. And this is kind of what he is talking about. But it goes beyond that, because there's a third thing that's maybe even bigger, in that because we all pay taxes, and I certainly pay a lot of money to the government, and we all pay taxes, which pays for the roads, and it pays for our houses, our buildings, and it pays for all these different things, and social things that are necessary.
Like
so if we're doing that,
bombs.
we're paying to the government. Then what's happening is we are the creditor to the government, and that's what this part of this ruling is, and what the gentleman's asking. If we're the creditor, then the government is the servant and not our master. They are the debtor. And if they are the debtor, then we're inherently free, because we are sovereign, and we are above the government. So because we're the creditor, we created the system. You understand? And if we created the system as a creditor, we've created the government and the courts, and we voted for our politicians to become the to have their appointments for court and judge and these kinds of things. And so it's really our system. And if it's our system, they really shouldn't be imprisoning me, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Speaking of individual rights in prison, do they let you practice your faith, your effective altruism? And can you tell people what that is and how it informs your worldview?
Yes, I can tell you about that. Well, when I was at college at MIT, that's where I met this professor, and he talked about effective altruism. And basically, it's what you're trying to do is you're trying to earn as much money as you can so that you can give charitably to good causes and to better of humanity. And that's really what I was doing. The only problem was that I was kind of like the Big Short. I was hedging a lot and took a lot of risk. So, but I was taking a lot of risk and a lot of hedge, so I could take a lot. I make a lot of big changes, and my belief system and really the Democratic Party, they were the ones that were affecting change for society and doing things for the right and doing things for the good. Okay, so there's some things I can't say, but there are things I can. And so if I give money to the Democratic Party, which I gave a lot of money to the Democratic Party.
The Democrat Party, you're saying? Okay.
Whatever.
Parties, all parties.
I know you're everybody's friend, but right now I'm not sure. So anyway, so they're Democrats. Okay, I will agree that they're Democrats. They're not democratic, and that is a problem for you. I understand. But anyway, so the point I'm trying to make here is that they were being able to bring about change, and the good change, and that's what effective altruism is gathering a lot of money so that you can give good. And so I just happened to flow my money, which was like fiat, and exchange it and change it and clean it. I can't use clean launder. Okay, I can't use launder. Anyway, to exchange it into crypto and dollars and fiat, and it would come back through Ukraine and then back into the Democrat Party and into and I got to meet a lot of nice people in Washington D.C., Congress people, senators, and that were trying to do the right thing, and so that's what effective altruism is. And can I do it here? Kind of when I get supplies in and that kind of thing, I can donate them to people that will leave me alone.
So you're kind of like Red from Shawshank Redemption, but not a capitalist.
Yeah, I imagine they can stake some cigarettes, right?
As a matter of fact, I have his cup. I have his cup from Sewatenejo.
Oh, there you go.
All right,
you're gonna go when you get out, man.
It was actually
one quick.
Andy, very bonkers to me.
It was Andy Dufresne's cup.
Oh, gotcha.
One quick question though.
Law basically say like if I'm not I don't have to. I'm not part of the system because I created the system. It's like saying I put this pot of water on to boil so it can't burn me if I put my hand in it. Isn't that what the law says? Or what this whole thing is saying? Like I'm the creditor. I started the system, so I don't have to answer to the system.
We're all creditors. We're all creditors because we pay taxes and we vote and we support the system. So we essentially are above the system because the government should be our servants. They are our servants.
We're above the law because we pick the people to create the law, which is.
Real quick,
your interpretation helps make a lot of sense of you.
Delineate who is we that we're talking about, because is it
all of us?
Is it all of us?
Taxes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I can't vote anymore, but yeah.
Right. The rule of law.
I can if someone will mail me a couple of ballots in here. I can fill them out for you.
Yeah, we can probably do that. Okay, next question.
Did they get you a ballot on election day? I mean, I know you can't vote, but did they let you vote?
No, they did not give me any ballots, and I did not fill out lots of them.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next
Just
question.
wanted to clear that up.
Dayrox.
Arts and crafts time.
Oh, Dayrox question. Will you write your version of what happened in the book?
Yeah, absolutely. But real quick, one more thing is, going back to the whole court case, the Wu's court case, the system is unfair. And if the system is unfair, why, because the sovereign liberty movement is for the individual is the right thing to do. The problem is it's an unfair court. And if you're going to play a basketball team and the other basketball team is also friends with the ref, or the ref is working for the basketball team and they're changing the rules during the middle of the basketball game, then why play that team? Because you're not going to win. And so if you're going to fight and push for individual sovereignty and that you're above, I shouldn't say above the law, but there's a better way of explaining it. But why play in that game? Why play in that game at all? Because you're outnumbered. The court they print a lot of fiat, and you're outnumbered, and you're outgunned, and so it's really a difficult thing to try to fight that as for individual sovereignty. And as far as my book, absolutely, I'm going to write a book. I'm thinking. I've been working on the title. Something like FTX affected change, but it wasn't my fault. Something like that.
Fair enough.
I have a question for you. Will you think your book will sell more than Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper?
Well, that's free. I don't understand your question.
Well, I mean, you could always.
I can download that, or everyone can download that. So should my book be free?
I think it's good.
I mean,
That's kind of like the effective altruism, right? If you pay me for my book, well, then I'm teaching you something, and that's the effect of the altruism by sharing that knowledge and information.
I think you should sell it for $1.
Well, if I can get a lot of people to read it, sure, and say give me $1, of course. Oh, by the way, I can't accept crypto anymore. Right?
Oh,
No, you can't pay me crypto.
Wow. All right.
Huh.
Okay.
You
Next
can pay
question.
my brother, my younger brother, Gabriel.
Not until CBDC comes out, right? Then they'll let you use that.
Next question.
I'm not allowed to talk about CBDCs.
We have a picture of Madoff. And both are scum and effing thieves.
That's
I
mean.
won't
We're
call
sorry.
you.
We're not trying to be rude on our show here.
Yeah. I won't call you Mr. Freed or Mr. Bankman. I will only address you as SBF. I don't even want to use your first name, Sam. You don't deserve respect or kindness for what you've done to innocent people or the crypto space. You were convicted on the following: wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, securities fraud, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, commodities fraud, and conspiracy to commit commodities fraud, and money laundering. So the question, SBF, how do you reconcile your support for effective altruism with your actions that have been proven in a court of law that you committed fraud?
Well, you got to get the money to be altruistic some way.
exactly.
This was the sovereign thing,
Honestly,
right?
what-
too?
what's,
This is the fact that we own them, and therefore any laws they write are essentially null and void up front. Which, if I'm summarizing your case, that would be it.
I want him.
I mean, it's all about nullification, right?
Yeah. Well, I do feel bad. But I effectively took other people's other people altruistically gave. I guess that would be my answer. I effectively took and they altruistically gave. They entrusted me to do the right thing, and we tried. And unfortunately, effectively, I mean, I had to pay off debts onto the other company, and but really, it's a teaching moment.
It was a teaching moment with Bernie Madoff too. I mean, he thought he was doing the right thing.
It's not about the journey; it's about the destination.
I
get it. I understand.
Don't trust. Yeah, Bernie Madoff was a nice dresser, and I liked just t-shirts and cargo pants. So I guess the lesson here is don't trust the person that wears cargo pants.
SBF, is it true
that's fair? Actually, I would trust a man with wearing cargo pants.
Thank you. I'm wearing cargo shorts. I felt attacked.
There you go.
SBF, is it true? Is it true?
I feel bad about that too.
If you go to prison, go to jail, you're actually going for an education. Is that what you're implying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The unwritten kind.
Oh, I see.
All right. Next question. From Anonymous again. Oh, look at this.
Wow.
We have an excellent picture.
That's a beautiful take on Gary. I'm sure he probably wants to hang out on the wall.
Who is it?
It's
I can't see.
Here's, so the question is, you can't see. It's a picture of Gary Gensler.
It's your Uncle Gary. But
I did the very first
birthday party when you were young.
Generative AI clownification of the man.
Okay. So the question from Anonymous is, What is your relationship with Gary Gensler, and how much did you pay him under the table to write the rules for crypto? Also, second part of the question, how many times did you meet with him in private?
And what does private mean?
That's a lot of questions. I'll take the first one. Well, first, he's Uncle Gary, but it was a professional relationship with Uncle Gary. I look at him as like my teacher, and I was the overachieving student, but failed the final exam. I wish I thought of that about paying him under the table, but there was a time that we talked for like 45 minutes, and I was trying to go over the whole FTX exchange and how it worked and how it functioned, because I was looking for like favors. A regulatory approval, and it was a long phone call, and it was very extensive and very detailed. But I guess he didn't quite get it. But I did make a couple more trips up to Washington D.C. and I met with a lot of other Congress people to try to sway his opinion.
Who's your favorite person
and kind of
in
sway his opinion but really I wish I had the forethought to the problem with Gary is I spent more time trying to understand his lectures on crypto regulation. I spent a lot of time there, and I still didn't understand. But I don't think he understood my spreadsheets either.
Yeah, that's an
He
interesting.
knows
That's an
about
interesting point. Do
spreadsheets.
you think of yourself as a crypto person or more of an investment banker, like a derivatives shop? Because I've always felt like FTX was really more of a derivatives shop than it was a crypto company.
Well, I'm not supposed to use math anymore because that's part of my sentencing, so I can't use math anymore. But I would consider myself a trader because I got started at Jane Street Capital, and at Jane Street Capital we worked with exchange funds, so ETFs, and that's where I really kind of developed my ideas of arbitrage, and I saw in 2017 there was a big difference. Like there's where South Korea and Japan you could buy Bitcoin for say like $1,000 difference, and you could, as long as you could move the money fast enough and move it and keep doing it over and over and over, you could make a lot of money in arbitrage. So that kind of gave me I don't know if that's answering your question, but so I learning that arbitrage at Jane's Capital and then applying it to the crypto world gave me that foundation of tens of millions of dollars to be able to start FTX, and that's really where it launched. It launched from, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you guys not sending a whole lot of novel smart contracts to be added to different blockchains. So I've always felt like blaming crypto for derivatives fraud activity is sort of like blaming home builders for 2008 and Lehman Brothers going up in flames.
I'm not supposed to say anything about that, but you can look up the Kamichi premium. The Kamichi premium, I encourage you to look that up, and that's basically the arbitrage between the countries like South Korea and Japan and others. There was in 2017 you could do that, but it was quickly fading, and it was only fading for the big people that could do that, and kind of like I learned like things like front running trades. That's really interesting. You can make a lot of money that way, and high frequency trading especially when you do front running, and then and market making. When you make the market, you can control the market. When you control the market, then you can make a lot of money that way. And again, it was to make the money to be able to do good for the world and change humanity for the better.
Right.
I was hyper focused to make a lot of money and to do good. And by giving it to Democrats, is that correct, Sean? Is that your name, Satoshi Sean? Democrats, right?
Right.
So
who was
the other question on this line is how is it that cluster bombs are altruistic in any way?
I think they're more effective than altruistic, maybe. I don't know. That's what at least my answer.
The altruism comes in putting the baby bird back in the nest after you knock it down, I suppose.
Well, you got to back it up. I guess maybe some people would consider me a little warped, but I would think it maybe a little differently than that. But if you think about it this way, then yeah, the cluster bomb is effective on the battlefield. But the money that it takes to make it, and all the people that earn money by making it, and the stockholders of the companies that making those cluster bombs, well, that's like effective altruism.
Okay. Speaking of stockholders, did you meet anybody that was?
I know that was a left field one.
But speaking of stockholders, shareholders, did you ever get to meet anybody that worked with Burisma Holdings? Specifically, a guy by the name of Hunter, Robert Hunter.
I'm going hunting tomorrow. We're allowed to go hunting.
That's cool.
That's all I can say about that.
How about Epstein? Did you ever meet any of the Epstein people?
Respect Second Amendment rights in the place you're located.
Well, it's different type. You can go hunting with financial instruments. What was that question, Joe?
Any meetings or any of the Epstein crowd? Any of the rest of them? Did you meet any of them?
I'm definitely not allowed to talk about that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next question.
Who's your favorite Democrat though? Like, what is the nicest Democrat that you've worked with?
Maxine Waters was really sweet, and she gave me a hug.
That's sweet. Excellent.
Okay. I think we've seen that, right? I think we've seen that picture. Okay. This one, anonymous. All right.
I don't like it when people are anonymous.
Kanye. There's a picture of Kanye on here. Apparently on the Timcast show, he's saying, "Who's they though?" I don't know what that means. This is from anonymous. Why did the New York Times? This is a good one. Why did the New York Times give you such favorable coverage, even after you were exposed for fraud?
I think it's my hair, but
I was thinking that's why Maxine Waters hugged you.
Did she slip you something in your hand when you did that? And you gave her the hug? A note.
Going back to the book that I'm going to write, I think I will probably take some of the excerpts that they published, and what would be a good name for my book would be like FTX, the greatest rug pull that wasn't my fault. I think that's what I should call it. but it would be like the Wolf of Wall Street and the Big Short and the New York Times reporting on it. But it would be a little different because it'd have more ramen noodles and in the Bahamas and cargo pants. But I think they gave me favorable information or favorable because, well, I'm going to say it. There was information that was being flown from intelligence sources, CIA and CIA and to Ukraine, and they do MK Ultra, and they also do Mockingbird, and so that information was flowing, and I think they didn't want to destroy those payments that were in the pipeline, shall we say, to affect change in the elections.
Okay. That's interesting. Right. Hey, another idea for your book title. I'm not saying, but it just as an idea. And you might, in the prison library, O.J. Simpson wrote that book that was, hey, I didn't do it, but if I did, here's how I would do it. You could do something like that. That I might expose your secrets, but something like that would be pretty cool, right?
Anyway. I didn't do it, but I did, or I did.
No, if I did, how would you do it? How I would have done it.
Oh, how I would have done it.
Yeah. That's the theme. I don't know the exact title, but it's something like that, right?
That would be really good.
If I did it was the title.
Would it?
If I did it, really?
If I did it, yes. But all of those would fall into the fiction category, though, right? And I don't.
Right. Oh yeah, no, it would be literary fiction.
Yeah. Yeah, you could your character could wear a cape through the whole thing and have some
Yeah.
science fiction weapons or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Next question, also from I Am for I Am. Oh, look, he has a picture of you behind looks like fake prison bars, photoshopped prison bars, and it says guilty. So it says FTX. He must not be a fan of yours. Maybe that's why he's not here. I don't know. But FTX brought down many crypto companies, and not all of them were crypto loan companies. Question: SBF, do you realize that the FTX downfall created a chain of events or a domino effect? What do you say to investors who lost their life savings? Here's a partial list. On air, you can just read the company names: BlockFi, Voyager Digital, Three Arrows Capital, Genesis Global Capital, Celsius. So, what are your thoughts on that? What do you say to the people who lost their life?
Well, domino effect is a little dramatic, don't you think? I mean, I think.
I mean, it did cascade, right?
Cascade.
One problem at one shop caused a problem at the next shop, and they didn't happen in parallel.
Yeah.
It is properly defined as unplanned experiment in decentralized finance chaos.
That's going to take Greg off.
Experiment in decentralized finance chaos.
Well,
that's
that's
different than a domino effect.
We would then have all the receipts in block data, right? Because to be DeFi, it has to be on chain and disintermediated. Really, doesn't it?
Yes, that is true, Greg. That's definitely true. But I have to be careful how I answer that, is because there are some things that were off book, and some things that are on book. If you know what I mean.
Right.
Also,
yeah, well, I mean,
so there's things that are on chain and off chain.
Have their own military forces to defend themselves, and that's a big part of it. I think if we're looking at the future and the sci-fi future that we're obviously all falling into this dystopia, those corporations and those companies, everybody needs their own military.
Yeah, that's what's coming. Yeah, that is the truth. Private militaries. Yep.
I'm okay with that. I think that's effective altruism.
Yeah, probably so.
I would agree.
All right, let's see here. Next question. Anonymous asks, there's no picture. How much time did you get, and how did you swing that? Yeah, what is it? I think I looked it up. Did you get 25 years? 25 years.
25 years. My girlfriend only got 2.
Oh.
Oh.
Do you still talk to her? Do you hope to reconnect after all this is said and done, or is it was that kind of a deal breaker?
I'm not supposed to communicate with felons, and she doesn't talk to me anymore. And so,
so she's a felon too. So she got 2 years. What did they call?
Didn't she turn state and testify against you?
That is correct.
Well, I'm sorry for that, man. That had to feel like a big betrayal.
Well, that's women for you.
Yeah, and I don't mean to laugh at your misfortune. I just was curious.
They could do that. They could do that. Money changes everything, especially when you don't. When you have a lot of money and you can spend a lot of money, you think you're starting to feel good and that kind of thing. But you feel a lot better when you get a lot of money, no matter how you get it, and you can give it away to good things. And that feels better than having a lot of money and buying a lot of nice things. And so that's kind of one of the reasons too that my image was always wearing like t-shirts and cargo pants, because it gave the image that I didn't have a lot of money, that I was spending my money on good things like the DNC.
So did you figure that out through was that just your way of being, or was this part of a PR mechanism?
No, that's how my heart feels.
Gotcha.
Okay. All
Would
right.
I understand that. That's a very human thing.
Okay. So, all right. There's one more question here. Oh no, that was the question. Just announcement from I Am for I Am. He nominated this show, I believe. I have to check that, but I'm pretty sure he nominated.
You were making $3 to $4 million a day, just in that income. You had $5 billion.
Yeah, they went poof.
Here's a good question. You
I was
think?
making a lot of money. Yes, that is correct. And I gave
you
a
ever
lot
get
of
the
money
sense-
away.
Did you get the sense you're being set up, that this was really more about targeting crypto with anything they could throw at it that would stick?
Absolutely.
Hey,
I was used.
speaking of that, what about CZ? What are your thoughts on CZ?
That asshole. He's
I
the
think he
one
was
that
kind of a
exposed
hero.
everything and created a big problem. He was a nice guy, smart man. There you see pictures of us together, and I had a lot of respect for him, but you know, he didn't like my balance sheets that I did show him.
Oh
Even
yeah, he
though
was
they
going to
weren't the
buy.
right ones. I think somebody sent him the wrong ones, and even though should only be one balance sheet and income statement. Well, there's good ones and bad ones, and I think that's what happened. So it became a tumbling. Like, oh, isn't that a good picture of me? My mom really likes that one.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, very much, very much. Hey,
Like, you
that's
should-
all the questions that we have from
I have
the
a
official
what
questions.
happened to Sam Trabucco?
Trabucco?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm not allowed to say.
He
I can answer
was-
yes or no questions.
He was in charge of everything and then stepped down right before everything happened.
Well,
Hey, I have a question for you.
sometimes
Sam.
you think you have friends and you think your friends are good people and your friends are loyal to you, even in the toughest of times. And we kind of had a falling out. And he ran the whole thing.
Was he
You know,
part of your what's that called?
Well, I mean, he ran.
Polycule, or what's that called again? How do you
Yeah,
pronounce that?
polycule.
Was he part of that?
Polycule.
Okay. I
Intimately.
wondered.
So here's an interesting
Oh,
question.
boy.
There was another case that was supposed to happen that they didn't pursue. Is that because of something that you were able to negotiate, or was that just good luck?
We will go with good luck.
All right. That's all I need to hear.
Okay. Oh, here's a video playing of your
That was in the Bahamas.
yeah, what's your effective altruism explanation. So you with charity, save the most lives per dollar. If
That's
you
right.
can make billions, if you can get people to stake that money and sacrifice, not the. What do you think about the phrase "not your keys, not your coins"?
Yeah, it's effective. Yeah, I think people should manage their own money to the best of their ability, and learn from the mistakes that others have by allowing other people to take custody and control your money for you. But there are people that just don't have that cognitive ability to do it themselves, and so they seek help from others, and there's a lot of predators in that water, and I've seen them, and it's a bad thing. So make sure if you don't know how to take custody of your own crypto, make sure that you know somebody that you trust that can help you through that and teach you through it. But you really should take the time and energy to understand self-custody and all the processes to do that, like paper wallets and doing it offline as much as possible and saving them in safe places and having self-custody, because otherwise you become the prey and of people like in cargo shorts.
Yeah,
That leads me to my to a question that I got. What's your take on? I just lost the train of it. What's your take on maybe trying to establish a user-friendly custodial wallet system, either custodial or even personal wallet system, so that we can effectively help educate the normies to utilize crypto in a more secure fashion and have their own keys?
They want my help. I'm not allowed to help you.
Oh,
They
damn.
don't say. I don't know what. Oh, isn't she pretty? Look at that face. I miss it.
Oh,
Yeah.
too bad
It's
she
a, it's a
snitched on you.
travesty what they've done to you.
It's a
honestly.
travesty that she ratted on you.
Were you really vegan? That's another question that I always heard that you didn't appear to be vegan, but you were vegan apparently. Is that correct?
I'm not allowed to say.
Oh, really?
You can't.
And,
You
and,
can't say.
how about
Oh,
the prison
wow.
food? Are you eating well? Do you get to your specialized food that your mom wanted you to have and all that?
Does somebody check your food for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I lot like Thursday's Italian Day, and they bring in a chef from Manhattan on Thursdays, and he does the best Italian food on Thursdays.
Wow.
Monday is like American Food Day, and I have a problem with American food sometimes. I like Fridays because Friday's fish day, and I'm used to a lot of fish in which is not vegan, but on Fridays we have fish, and I like that. But I can't have shellfish. But you know what? We have some really good good cooks here. Good. Well, actually they're chefs.
It's the shellfish. It's the shellfish because you're Jew.
No, the
you
shellfish
can't
is
eat-
because he's an effective altruist, right? Because you don't want to be you don't want
okay.
anything to do with shellfishness.
Yeah, bottom feeder.
That's true. That's true. Speaking of
Sorry.
shellfishness, what do you think of Michael Saylor?
Wonderful man. Go
Has
Bitcoin.
he visited? Yeah, has he visited you?
No. But if you can get a message to him, my mom didn't like this picture. She thought I lost a lot of weight, and she was really concerned. But
I don't know, man. I think that picture makes you look like a Chad.
see,
Whoever drew that is.
I don't know if you could see my prison number. We get to pick out our own prison number. Can you see
Really?
that?
How many digits is it?
You have a full
Oh wait, he's
print
not allowed
job?
to do math.
6.
Remember?
Wow,
Course,
You
it's
can't
eight,
do math.
eight,
that's a good point.
8. Yeah,
And-
it's
Okay.
2009-0103. 2009-0103. You can look it up.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Is Michael Saylor a Fed?
Fed.
Have you seen some of the older crypto projects whose founders mysteriously died at a very young age, back past 2017?
Yeah, pretty scary stuff. How about the guy from Canada?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the exchange from Canada. I forgot his name. I'm
Didn't
probably
he?
not
Didn't
allowed to
he
say his
fake
name.
it?
Pardon me.
I thought he faked it. They
The
found
guy
out
that
he was
died
still
of
He went
alive.
to India. He went to India and had a stomach problem.
Oh.
And
He went to a town in India that is famous for selling fake death certificates, and then
Yeah.
died of diarrhea.
it was coincidental
Man.
at best, I think.
It does happen a lot there. The diarrhea is.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
And he brought the hardware wallets with him
The scourge.
on his excursion to the town in India that's famous for selling fake death certificates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pony, what's his name? Puffy Pony, what's his name? He's had kind of like a death certificate with those loss of his keys on water, and
Right.
I can
So-
relate to that. In 25 years, I can relate to that.
So is there a second act for you? Are you going to go into AI after you get out or something? Do you have big plans? I mean, surely you're not standing still.
Did you say I'm outstanding?
No, you're standing. You're not standing still. I'm saying you're probably got big innovative ideas that you're gonna put into play when you get out, right?
Oh,
Going into AI next.
Yeah. AI's for me. If I can survive that long, because I can't stay here forever. It's pretty
Well,
rough.
maybe by the time you get out,
It's cold. It's
Hey.
cold. I had to
Yeah,
double
like-
layers today.
If
Oh, wow,
we
yeah.
can survive that long, I don't know. You might be safe in that cell.
Well,
It might be
That's
better
a, that's
if
a
you're
good
in.
point, right?
Yeah, it depends on how thick the concrete is.
Yeah. How thick? How thick do you think the concrete is in prison?
I know,
Oh,
but I'm
wait.
not allowed to say that I know.
Yeah, you can't. Never mind.
Yeah,
That stupid question. You can't do math. Damn.
Yeah.
I want to know these answers.
Um,
Tell your attorney to let
the
you
older
talk.
the concrete, though, my favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption. The older the concrete is, that it compresses, and all those years of compression makes it softer.
Right.
Just
It's
saying.
crumbly
Speaking of
that way.
Yeah, speaking of Shawshank
I don't have any guards around
Redemption,
me right now, so I can say it.
yeah. If theoretically, if you were to break out of prison, would you use a spoon?
Is that a reference to never mind. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and answer.
I think isn't that a reference to the gentleman that escaped from Alcatraz?
Yes.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood
Eastwood.
played that movie.
Yep.
Yeah, those movies are very popular here.
Oh, how about this? Have you
came out
had
with
any discussions about a movie?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I've been trying to get Brad Pitt to play me and Angelina Jolie to play my girlfriend. I think there's a likeness.
Perfect.
Oh,
Okay.
clearly.
Okay. Yeah, this
Yeah,
this
definitely.
poster here I caught of Ryan Gosling. It was the proposed.
Yeah. Who is the gentleman that Between the Ferns?
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, he would be
Yeah.
good too.
Oh yeah, no, we got to get him on
no
here.
doubt. Yeah.
Okay.
Did I tell you? Say
what's that?
Watanejo. That's the place to be.
No. Okay. So, how much
Real
time do we
town.
have? How much time do we have? We're about to hit our meme.
Our hour.
You can see your
borderline here.
screen now.
Saying that as you're posting the memes. Yeah.
Oh wow, billions, millions and millions and billions,
These-
and blame yourself for giving your money away. Biden, WF, Zelensky. Oh, Zelensky's something else.
Did you ever meet him?
Only on the phone.
Why does Zelensky look like Xi Jinping? Is that on purpose?
But the Jewish version.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I don't
yeah.
understand the rat and the. I guess they're trying to say I came out of the sewer. I didn't. I came from Alameda,
Right.
California. My parents
Yeah.
are prominent attorneys and prominent professors at Stanford
Clearly misinformation.
Law. Mm-hmm.
That's right, Stanford.
Well,
Stanford.
it's
MIT.
art.
1984.
It's art, so it's all interpretive, you know.
Who was it
Right,
you worked
That's
for?
why I said
or
misinformation.
with MIT.
Jane's Capital.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Did you just say Baines Capital?
No,
Oh.
Jane Street Capital.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, Bain Capital just popped in my head. I guess I'm having a Mitt
Well, I'm sure they
Romney
were in there
moment.
somewhere, right? I mean,
Probably.
private equity locusts have probably been all over this.
I mean, Mitt Romney's a Democrat, basically. So, I mean, he's a rhino. So, did you ever meet Mitt Romney or talk to Mitt Romney? Was he involved in this circus that screwed you?
I'm allowed to say funds flowed there, whatever that means.
I could imagine
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm running out of memes for the period of all the FTX stuff. So, I think I'm up to maybe my last one. Do we have any other questions before we let SBF go? Any other last minute questions? I'll check the comments.
Yeah, I have my practice with
Mazel
my
tov.
my tennis tutor is coming
Yeah,
up.
you got a
here.
tennis thing to get.
Tennis match.
Club Fed.
Yep.
Club Fed, go Club Fed.
God knows everybody outside of prison understands what it's like to have a tennis coach.
No,
I know.
You can't disappoint those people.
no.
All right.
I want a tennis coach. You think if I got busted doing the same thing, I would end up in Club Fed?
Oh hell no, no, you don't know the right
Uh,
people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
Hey, it's not easy time here. There's metal here.
Ah,
It's not easy.
All right.
at
Right.
least
And I
it's
don't- I-
honesty
I'm-
of materials and
I mean-
architecture.
Well,
PP Diddy he is and by the way, for everyone wanting to know, My name is Sam Bankman Frutos.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah,
Wow, that's been wrong
that
this
makes
time.
sense.
Everybody's been getting it wrong.
okay.
makes
All right. Well,
sense.
so very,
Have
very
you-
so. Well, thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
thanks.
And how can people keep up with you? You know, what's going on in the coming weeks that people can watch, right?
I think you should probably check out Den.Social because the guy who doesn't like me, who asks those mean questions.
Oh, I am. Yes.
Yeah. He always talks about that. The
Straight
Den.Social is actually the Reddit killer, and I can't directly get in there as SBF because it has a crypto function, and
Right.
and I'm not allowed to do that kind of thing anymore.
I see.
But I have friends in high places that could probably post some stuff in there for me, and
There you go. Just
yeah,
make sure you use the
yeah.
anonymous one. There's no
Yeah.
direct benefit if your questions get asked that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I am
Exactly.
I am for I am.
Very
I guess
altruistic.
he set this whole thing up. So even though he doesn't like me, I appreciate that he gave me this platform to talk about.
Right.
And so I would recommend Den.Social if you want to follow and learn more about me.
Right on.
Right.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you
You
so
got to
much.
come back, man. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
thank you.
maybe you'll get another chance. We can have you come
We'll
on.
start that
again.
free
Maybe-
SBF
maybe you'll get
hashtag
paroled.
movement, man. We'll get you out of there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It really ages you.
Oh.
Let me tell you, being in these walls age you considerably.
Hey,
I
do you
can
think
tell.
Joe Biden's going to pardon you?
I can tell.
Oh yeah, Trump. Any hope for a pardon from Trump?
No, I
Or at
had
least-
more hope with Kamala than I did Trump.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Any hope for when
We've
are
got a
you eligible for
last-minute,
parole?
Biden pardon before he leaves.
That's
Well,
true.
we're working on it, aren't we? Please tell me you're working on that. They say they're working on it. Otherwise, I think I'm above the law, like we were discussing before. It's just an
Right.
When
unfair
when do you think you're eligible, or when are you eligible for parole? Or are
Well,
you?
they say that I might do half the time, so that'd be like 12 and a half years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so you're a good chunk of the way into it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be out before I'm 40, right?
Do you hold any
There you go.
Bitcoin anywhere that in 12 years it'll be an interesting outcome?
Do I hold what?
Any Bitcoin anywhere? Anything that was left around.
I don't think you can say that.
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. Well,
All right.
Yeah.
thanks again for joining, and we're gonna go straight into I don't know if you'll still be able to watch or not on the prison TV there, but we're gonna do memes and current events because there is a lot going on in the world. Interesting stuff. So okay,
Yeah.
thank you very
Remember,
much.
effective altruism. It works. It changes the
Right.
world. Just
Right.
accumulate money as fast as you can, and then give it to good sources. It will change the world for the good that you believe.
Give it to
Right.
George Soros.
Do you know if
He's a
I am
good man.
coming on for the second half of the
Mazel.
I don't know. I can ping him and see, but
Okay.
I'll ping him after we
All right.
after we sign off. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks a bunch, SBF. We will maybe see you
Mazel
again.
tov. Shalom.
Work on that second serve, man.
Goodbye. All right, guys. So now
Oh,
we
yeah.
go to the straight side of
That was brilliant.
memes and current events. So, what are the current events we need to track this week? I just saw the ICBM mention this morning that they launched a dud ICBM. Is that correct?
Yeah, they
Mhm.
it's called a squib actually. And actually it was pretty interesting because they used those multi-ordnance delivery one of those multi-ordnance delivery missiles, which are really fascinating and they're horrifying, right?
Mhm.
Because what it is this missile breaks into delivery vehicles after it's exited the atmosphere, and the individual vehicles re-enter, and these vehicles are the ones carrying the warheads.
Merv.
So one missile can vaporize a sequence.
I know
of cities.
from playing. I know from playing Missile Command that there were multiple independent re-entry vehicles, MIRVs,
Yep.
right? And so
And that's
you have to be
that was
careful
actually
when
what
they
hit
pour down
hit
by your
Ukraine
bases.
from
Yeah.
there. So they had squib
Really?
MIRVs, and that's what they used. So there were no warheads, but they launched
Really?
the ordnance delivery.
That's weird. A squib is something that usually, for guns, it's when it gets stuck in the barrel,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
it blows up and
Right.
it hurts, yeah.
Right. That's right.
I think I said 2 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember when everyone made fun of me that all this is leading to the use of a tactical small nuclear weapon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Change just warfare in general.
Yep.
I think the dream's bigger. I really do think they're after.
Suitcase.
I think they're probably disappointed when that didn't end up being armed with strategic warheads.
I'm sure. Because I mean, if it's armed with a warhead, that means
what about this tinfoil hat thing?
we can launch it.
That Biden has completely lost his mind. Did you see the smile when he met with Trump? He was crazy big, which I thought he was just kind of laughing at the Democrat Party for having screwed him over, like, haha, look what you got. But what if
in reality,
man, and he wants to let it all burn before he leaves?
Right. Well, I mean, there's an inherent incentive. This is actually one of the strongest arguments against Western style democracy is that it creates a political atmosphere in which the advantage is to consume all of the resources and take everything that's not bolted down, because tomorrow the other side, your enemy, may be in control of it. So, to me, this is the ultimate expression of that is, if the world is no longer under my command, we best light it on fire because it'll all be the resources of the other side soon.
This is, I'm confused on that. If you want to go back one meme. I'm hearing people say this is the most humane, best, lowest casualty operation of all time.
I'll go back.
This one right here. If you look at the numbers and
the most moral military. Is that
it's like military people saying this.
This is ridiculous, obviously. Those warehouses of cluster bombs we sent were not being used in war because they're deemed to be a war crime like landmines to use.
When did Russia?
Still not a genocide though.
I didn't even know about that.
No.
I think it's a genocide. I think it's a Holocaust actually. If you know the truth, it is an actual Holocaust because they're melting people in tents. Right. So would you say it's a Holocaust if it's not a genocide?
There's no such thing as a nuclear bomb.
It's definitely atrocious. I mean, but it still hasn't fit the true definition of a genocide.
I don't know.
It's not ethnic
cleansing. Why would you think that?
That's for sure.
The problem is you have these two sides. Hamas is obviously an Israeli prop. It always has been, but Hamas does have the tenacity to utilize their own people as human shields. Israel doesn't give a shit who they're gonna drop bombs on.
Well, that serves their ends, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it suits Israel's means, right. But
the more they camp out under hospitals, the better, as far as the Israelis are concerned.
Exactly. I mean, total war. Yeah. The age of total war is disgusting. I mean, because
they don't want to have a refugee problem because they want to get rid of all the refugees.
Yeah.
Well, they're calling it they're calling it themselves another Nakba or whatever the hell that means, right? Where for the first time they came into Palestine and killed whole towns and villages, right?
Right. Well, I mean, and the particular people in power in their regime right now are part of a subsect that would be pro exterminating all of the Palestinians.
Wow, and
see, if we want to use this terminology and call what Israel's doing right now, even though it hasn't reached the level of genocide, a genocide, then we have to look into the psychology of Hamas, because Hamas has actually called for the genocide of the Jews.
Right.
So both sides want to exterminate each other. It's just Israel has the weapons capability to do it if they wanted to.
I think it's important to draw a distinction between genocide and ethnic cleansing, which this is definitely already ethnic cleansing.
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely ethnic cleansing.
I don't care. Again, I don't care the word itself. I mean, when you see 5 or more dead or maimed babies every day, just casually scrolling through Twitter feeds, it's pretty bad. And
it's disgusting.
All of our tax money for it. And then you look at the Ukraine side too, and it's all the same damn people
Yeah.
That,
Oh,
you know,
right.
Well,
they're-
that's the worst part of it, right? Is because we have social media now, we have the internet, and you can see it so much that it looks way worse than
Right.
every other atrocity prior. So, I mean, people are going to look at that and be like, "See a dead baby," of course. I mean, that's
Right.
going to hit the emotion level. So, nobody wants to see
Well,
dead,
ultimately,
roasted
war
babies
is
melting.
ultimately war is really just a completely sensible thing. It has absolutely no
Yeah.
value proposition to
Yeah.
anybody involved.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who engage in wars of aggression and win, right? Even they are destroyed by it because it destroys your moral character to be a
Mhm.
conqueror and to brutalize people. And that's to me the worst of it is just what it's
Mhm.
done to our character to be so blithe about murder.
Yeah.
That was. I think it's the second kind of iteration. Like back in the 50s and 60s, everyone got televisions, and then people all over the United States, specifically young people, which is like today, were able to see cops putting dogs on black people, beating black people, and they were allowed to see the injustices, and they were educated enough to know that's illegal, that's wrong.
Right.
And that's why you had the civil rights movement, and that's
Right.
why the government changed the government schools and they no longer
Well, and their
civics.
response to that was literally to tamp down on the ability to send photographic journalism back to the States. Right. This was the beginning of the censorship of war, which is ultimately, I think, what's behind the current censorship trends. Right. That the post Sandy Hook shooting stuff was just a revelatory example of what would happen if there was a whole bunch of social media feeds running in a country that they invaded. And they saw the PR problem there as one that could only be solved.
Did you guys
by
see what
censorship.
Hillary Clinton said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. About
Accidentally?
about losing total control.
Losing total control.
Yeah.
I saw that on
Yeah.
the Young Turks. I've watched the Young Turks more in the last 2 months
Yeah.
than I have in my life. My son is the one that showed it to me, and I was like, "This is ridiculously horrible."
How you pronounce it? Is it Chink or Shink? How do you pronounce his name?
Jank. I think it's Jank.
Chink.
Dang,
Yeah, he had some. I don't know if he ran for office or something. He had
He
some
did run for office,
commercial
yeah.
that was anti
Mhm.
Israel war that was actually brilliant. It was really funny. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
so I started following him. He sometimes he says some stuff that I don't understand where he's coming from.
He's based on
But,
some things.
Yeah,
He
some
can be
stuff is
pretty based.
pretty cool.
He's
Yeah.
he's the left wing,
Right, well,
or he's the
That's
yeah,
why
he's the left wing.
I tell you, left and right is becoming meaningless.
Oh,
that's
Democrat,
well, I mean,
Republican,
yeah.
Liberal, none of that.
Well, he
She is
Dave
Jank-
Rubin used to be one of the Young
moderate
Turks,
now.
right?
She's
Didn't he?
straight up moderate,
yeah.
and she's
I think
they
didn't
argue all the time because she's like, he's like, hey man, we got to pay taxes. Taxes are great because the government gets money, and she's like, I don't like what they're doing with my money. I don't like paying taxes because they're spending it on bombs and killing people and this and that. And he's like, hey man, that's not what we're supposed to say.
Right. I mean, how many
No.
clips of fully automatic depleted uranium rounds they have to go through before the bullet that you paid for lands in somebody's neck? You know, like to me, this is the problem of tax money on war. Right. I don't want to have rounds of my money being spent into other people's necks. I think that's wrong.
Yep.
Right.
We're still paying interest on the bullets from World War One. What are you talking about?
Right. No, exactly. But the ones that are being done in my name, when I have agency and I can look around the world and see what's being done with it, those are the ones I'm concerned about. You know, the
I saw
mistakes of the
a
past
very
are the past,
impactful
but-
meme or GIF. It was just the usual things like a tank shooting, boom, boom, but the dollar amount of each shot was going up. It was like $2,700.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
yeah.
then one of them was like a mobile, missile thing, and it was like 30,000. And then it was a dude with a 50 cal from a helicopter. You couldn't even see the numbers because it was going so fast. But it was all through that, and just the numbers are
right.
insane.
I mean, and that's not even the full
Bombs
spend,
are
right?
like
Because
$100,000. I mean, it's nuts when you see the money.
that's adorable. So the thing that really troubles me about those numbers too is they're not quite right, because when you think about it, right, the amount of propaganda one has to run in order to maintain the space to execute a war effort ought to really be rendered pro rata across the entire munitions expenditure and added to the cost, right? Because we have to justify and sell the wars, and so the propaganda machine itself is part of the expense. So it's higher than they even know.
Do we want to talk about appointees, or I don't know what their official title is?
I want to tell you what's going on in Texas.
Appointees, see.
If you guys would like to know what
more red heifers.
No, the governor is at work. So we have a land bureau or something. It's it's not a very militarized agency. They don't even have like police or anything, like land management. But the person heading it, this chick, is very hardcore, very based. Like the cartel, when they come across the border, they like rape kids or they rape people, and then they take their underwear and they hang it in these they call them trophy trees.
Oh yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah. So she's ordered
and unsanitary.
She's ordered all their agents to bulldoze every single tree that pops up, and they've been burning bush and burning stuff to like take away cover. So they're getting as militaristic as they can, being
that is pretty
management. But
it probably doesn't do anything but hide the act to take.
It just hides, but I mean it's still pretty base because it's kind of like it's slapping them in the face, kind of.
Like it is a way to prevent the propaganda of the deed that they were engaging in there. Essentially,
on day one, there's this. Right now, we have 1.4 million illegals that we have access to that we could deport right away. But everyone's like, that's too many people. 1.4 million. How are we going to do that? So the Bureau of Land Management gave 125 acres to the governor, who then made an order that he's going to build a detention and deportation facility at an accelerated rate to hopefully be ready in the next few months, so that at the beginning of the year they can handle like 2 million people to go through.
We're not going to get the beginning of the year.
Okay,
that's the first thing. Second thing, he made now it's against the law in Texas for any Chinese citizen to conduct themselves for basically doing espionage. But the term espionage has been broadened. So what he said that the Communist Party does is they're going after trying to infiltrate the national level, but they're really focusing on states and sending people in. First off, this is what started it is, I talked about the Chinese police station in New York, 2-3 months before they went in and closed it down. They opened up a Chinese police station in Texas, in Houston, which pissed everybody off. So now what they would do is they'd send their agents to Chinese dissidents that had made it to the U.S., and they would harass them, or they would also incentivize them. Hey, we'll give you lots of money. Why don't you come back and be our friend? You're Chinese. These are Americans. Or, we still got your family back there. You don't want bad things to happen to them. And then they start to infiltrate into the government, so on and so forth. Now that's completely illegal. Even if they bother any Chinese citizens in Texas, they'll be arrested. And then even if they're foreign dignitaries, even if they're here, on visas, whatever, they're going to jail.
What if they're doing is an act of satire in filming it, though? Do you think First Amendment has any?
I don't know. They were back to the laundry law.
Yeah.
Because they're not citizens. They don't have that right.
So what you're saying is they're sticking with that broken interpretation of constitutional law that suggests that the rights that it delineates aren't inalienable and given by God, that they attach when you become a citizen, and that's their justification. right? Is that what you're saying?
I guess what they're saying is if the Chinese Communist Party does any kind of anything that works against the United States or Texas, they're going to arrest them. If they harass any citizen of Texas, they will arrest them.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that? Yeah,
Well,
I
we'll see.
guess
What do we do?
I'm wondering
special,
about.
it's actually a special racist law if you want to get down to it. If you come here on a work visa from China, and then someone comes to the government or makes a complaint and says, "Hey, this guy's harassing me, wants me to work for the CCP, or said he's going to hurt my family, or he said he's going to give me, $100,000 if I start doing this."
So it's
gonna
like a
arrest that
Chinese
guy.
flavored Red Scare, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it sounds like a Red Scare. Plus, it also sounds like Texas is going back to the 19th century Chinese immigrant epidemic. Because the Chinese did build the
Okay.
build the
Okay. So that's our
railroads.
Texas update.
Right.
That's our Texas
They had to
update.
take out that.
What about the appointees? So what do we think about Tulsi Gabbard? What do we think about RFK?
Dude, she
Is
could not be a
Ron
better
Paul
pick for
actually
DNI
going to have an
than-
official thing?
Actually, no. She was a great pick for.
Dude, making her DNI was like, he might as well pick Snowden and pardon him at the same time. It's how good she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her job in her job in the military. She worked for
Yep.
not just intelligence for the what is it? What's the thing where the CIA controls the media?
That was
Mockingbird.
Yeah, she worked for like the Mockingbird part of military intelligence, like
Gotcha.
PR and intelligence together.
Okay. So she's great.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So she's definitely not a Russian asset. She's American full on.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg Gazoo.
She's an
That's
asset.
Gates.
freaking hilarious.
Gates.
Matt Gates, I think, is the best pick in my opinion.
I actually
he's-
didn't think that until I didn't know half the stuff that had been going on the past couple of years with him until all this came out. I'm like,
He's-
whoa. Yeah,
He's
he was
been
the
under
best-
direct embargo by
Yeah.
the worst of the establishment. The intelligence agencies want him
Yeah.
dead.
He's an
Oh,
angry man.
yeah.
I'll tell you, he is a very focused.
APAC doesn't fund him, even though
which,
he has done free ads for Israel.
It's heartening that he is
but-
actually angry. Like that to
He's
me
legit.
is-
I
yeah.
hope he does something.
He's really
right.
good
Although,
on civil liberties too, or at least on paper, especially with
Right.
the Second Amendment. He wants to
Right.
abolish the ATF. I mean,
don't-
he
yeah,
wants to.
They typically hire career prosecutors for this role, which is a terrible way
Yeah.
to slant the system in bias of
Mhm.
heavy-handed
I don't think he's going to
prosecution.
get in. I think he's going to be the one.
That
You
doesn't
think,
get
you think
confirmed.
you think he's the Bork to the future Scalia?
I think
basically?
I think he's a sacrificial lamb. But they're like everybody else, not him.
Maybe.
Because
We'll work with you.
Bork
Maybe.
was the guy who got nominated before Scalia that the left threw a temper tantrum over, and then after they threw that temper tantrum, they couldn't even object to Scalia.
What do you
Because
think
Sure,
about?
no.
He
What
was
do you think
technically a
about
step
the?
down on the extremist tree.
What do you think about the Democrats wanting what's her name, Sotomayor, to step down because she's 70?
Stupid. That's stupid.
I thought it was
Completely
dumb because they don't have
Yeah.
much time. They could
Well,
literally backfire, right?
The thing people don't realize about the court is they really are insulated from political pressure. As soon as that appointment
They
thing
are.
is over,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those guys are independent, and they come into this room
Mhm.
full of other brilliant people who have the same kind of immunity, and they are molded and shaped by them, right?
Yep.
You put in somebody brand new and take out the influence of her in swaying new judges, all you do is push the court further right the next time there's an appointment.
I don't know, man. That last one that went in that said she wasn't a biologist, I think she's the exception of that rule. That was like the one that I've been saying. I think the Supreme Court.
Well, I mean, and yet, though, you can see drift in her rulings away from
Mhm.
an ideologically aligned perspective. There are enough points where she jumps that you can already see that, like,
Yeah, that's like a
conversations with Gorsuch are moving her in some ways.
what the woman that Trump appointed, she voted against like 2 or 3 things that he wanted. Because
Yeah.
I have always said that those people, the law is more important to them than anything else. It's like they're not regular.
Well,
Like they're
the
superhuman.
institution
but
of the
it's not law.
courts and the respect that people have for the Supreme Court is what they're mostly concerned with preserving.
I remember watching the Muhammad Ali documentary, and it was on HBO. It's awesome. I love Muhammad Ali, but this is like from like transcripts and testimonials. There were like racist bastards on the Supreme Court back then, but they still sided with them.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's the law. We have to do it. We got to do it. We got to be.
Well, and moreover, the law, the way we had interpreted previously, was causing problems, right? Mm-hmm. When the law becomes from a just a purely pragmatic standpoint unenforceable or difficult to enforce, and interpreting it becomes so ambiguous that the appeals courts across the country are getting different answers when asked the same question. Mm-hmm. That's like hallmark of what the Supreme Court's there to decide. And the only time they don't decide those questions is when the country is pissed off enough about an issue that it would be divisive to answer it.
About the whole legal system. So many times the Supreme Court has failed us on state level Supreme Courts. So I think it is still able to be manipulated by party, even at that level, the Supreme Court of a state. Mm-hmm. Because it's happened. It's not like isolated cases. It's happening more and more.
Right. Well, the state Supreme Court positions are often elected, and if they're not, they're often not very long of term. So what you end up with is political pressure on the judges working, essentially. Because everyone is ultimately out for their own individual career.
Okay. Who else was there? There's no SEC appointee yet that we know about, right?
Linda McMahon just got.
Gary Gensler gets a life appointment.
That's such a joke.
Linda McMahon got appointed to the Department of Education.
Linda McMahon.
Linda McMahon.
I personally, my money's on Hester Peirce getting the nod for chair next.
Yeah, then you woke up.
No, seriously.
She was in line to get it.
She was going to be the interim and probably end up getting appointed the official one if Trump had won last time.
She's too on
for SEC?
Yeah. I think she's going to end up getting appointed chair. Because while he can't technically fire Gary Gensler from the whole SEC, what he can do is reappoint the chair and make him just a regular commissioner who would have to be subject then to the will of whoever he appointed, which I think she's the most likely candidate.
Most likely.
All right. Here, how about Tyson throwing the fight? I watched
How about Netflix throwing the fight?
Netflix, good.
I think he was just worried about murdering somebody.
I have that
again.
up here, text somewhere.
Honestly, yeah. Well, actually, if you watched it, and I went back and watched a little bit of it, he was kind of wavering, and Jake Paul got a couple licks on him, and you kind of felt this man is a 58-year-old.
You like the movie,
old man.
Well, I mean,
dude,
and that point is fair, except for the fact that Tyson's real fight mode is going for a knockout.
If you go and watch him train, he was training way fast. It was faster, harder. It was a different dude.
Right.
Yeah. And you see a couple of places where
he KO'd him in the first round, which was that way he would normally go about winning.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. That's the
training
narrative
hard
that they
off
wanted
camera
to understand. But it's like there were enough places where it was obviously he was pulling punches.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of places where he kept playing with his freaking mouthpiece, right? Because what am I supposed to do with my hands if I can't hit the guy, right? It was it was so freaking obvious. He wanted to get paid. And it's cool.
But what most people don't realize about boxing is it really doesn't have to do with age so much. It does body mass.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine
part
how
of a punch you can throw.
I would have
honestly, if it was a real fight,
Paul would have gotten actually, palm. That would have been amazing because
I thought
if it was a real fight, and they actually were able to hit even at 58 years old, one strike from that 58.
Not a genocide. Tyson didn't throw the fight.
Yes, the IM's point over here in the chat, right? That Tyson would get nothing if he KO'd him in the first round.
I think that might be the case. But with that, fellas, I gotta get off here.
Before that fight was so much better.
We'll see you tomorrow, man.
Oh,
See you
yeah.
tomorrow. Oh,
Thanks for
Take
stepping
care.
in, Greg.
yeah, Legacy right. Tomorrow we're gonna jump in. Andrew's he has to take a break. So
Thanks for inviting me on
real-
when we did the Star Trek show. That was nice.
So but yeah, I mean, yeah, every Wednesday, you
See you,
technically
William.
correct. Y'all are invited. So
All right.
but yeah, tomorrow night about 7 o'clock Eastern, Greg's gonna be on, and so is William. I am for I am. So we're gonna
Nice.
get down to the nitty gritty of CVCDs. So, and
All
I
right.
promise Andrew, we will bring you guys back with him, ready to rock.
Hell yeah.
So,
All right.
Anytime.
but
All right.
Yeah.
with that, guys, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
We'll see
peace
you
out.
later.
Hey,
Same here.
Bye.
before you
Yeah,
go,
talk soon.
if you do see flashes of light, stay indoors for at least 36 hours because that's about how long it takes for most of the most deadly fallout to clear away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Luckily, I might be safe. I don't know if they're
Oh, that's
gonna
good.
attack Cincinnati. They might though.
Oh no, it's part of what they call the nuclear sponge. Look that up if you want to get angry, because
Really?
most of the
Really?
placement of missile silos across the Midwest were largely for the purpose of drawing fire away from major cities on the coasts.
Huh.
We will
Huh.
get hit hardest
Well,
in the
I
Midwest,
say it again.
largely because
I
they'll be
say
going
this
after
again.
our silos. And
I say this again. If they were
Yeah.
just to take out DC, all of our troubles. It's a win-win for everybody. Just take
It
out
would be.
they
DC.
really should.
Just take out DC.
Maybe Tel Aviv
Please
and
don't.
maybe London.
Make sure
Sorry,
Elon's
London.
not there. I guess first.
I think those three will be. I think if we took those anywhere is a significant obelisk, essentially.
All right, guys.
Anyway.
See you guys.
Take care.
Catch
All right.
you later.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming.
All right. It's just the three of us now, right? Now the real fun
Mhm.
stuff happens. I'm just joking. All right. Let's see here. What do we have? What else? So yeah, Netflix and I do think it was. I didn't at first. I thought, oh, it sucks. But then when I've seen some clips, I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, I am no expert at that type of stuff, but some of those clips look pretty obvious, you know.
Yeah, agreed.
Pretty ridiculous. What else? I want to know what Greg thinks about this subject, where the any doxing question on X, including revealing names, will result in account suspension, and we've seen him follow through on that multiple times. They will dox people. Well, the ADL just doxed. I think the account is 1984 or
Well, shit.
real
Are they
1984. or
banned?
something.
Is the question.
The official 1984. And I actually follow the official 1984 because they posted some stuff about the Palestinian conflict, and it's like, and some of it was well produced and kind of funny even. So I've started following it, and I even ordered one of their shirts, which apparently is the thing that really got the ADL so pissed off. But they doxed the account for whoever it is. I can't remember what state they're in. I won't dox them anyway, I guess. And so far, there's shirts like this one, ban the ADL, and there's some shirts that were, I think they had Anne Frank on them that were pro-Palestinian, and they were very controversial. With it's like this is America, right?
The one thing about the whole dialectic that bothers me the most is how the thing that pissed them off was essentially these guys trying to agitate for the banning and censorship of the other side's voice, right? Like this ban the ADL shirt is a way of saying
this came after that. They didn't do this before that. Before that, it was all I stand with Palestine, free Palestine. They were using Anne Frank.
That's good.
And after it, though, it's just the question is Musk, for whatever reason,
satire essentially
is not going to ban the ADL. Where if the ADL has doxed people, why are they not being banned? It's an interesting, legitimate question.
Technically, the policy is suspension, right?
Suspension. Yeah, I say ban, but yes.
Were they suspended for any period of time, even until they took it down? Maybe.
Nope.
So
no, they haven't taken it down. They haven't taken it down. It's still there. Yeah. They're not suspended.
I would recommend that anybody watching this who has an X account go report it.
It's been reported. Yeah, it's
over
been
and over.
reported. I mean, you've seen it. There are community notes on it. Everything.
Well, and that's another thing too. Like the community notes on it, And the fact that it's sitting there, community noted, might actually be the best possible outcome anyway. If they get banned, they don't have to sit there and listen to the blowback from what they
I'm
say.
not. I think I'm not me myself. I'm not for even that rule to suspend people. But maybe
Right,
doxing. I guess that does make sense because it can be dangerous, and that was an issue with Elon himself when he got doxxed, and that's when all that started, right? So, so maybe
well,
it isn't. But
and
either way,
unmasking an
what I
anonymous
would prefer
account
is
kills it.
consistency. But it's it's very similar to the law over here, where SBF screwed the wrong people apparently.
Right.
Or sorry, screwed the right people. Whereas his protege or his, the guy who did it before him, Bernie Madoff, screwed the wrong people and got like 250 years or something, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to wonder what, why is it so inconsistent on something
It would be
as simple
politically.
as X?
I mean, let's look at it pragmatically from the standpoint of somebody who wants to get into the Department of Government Efficiency and make hay that way, right?
Yeah.
If you were doing that, would now be especially good timing for PR that might cause loud, vociferous, aggressive cries for the limiting of the influence of Elon Musk. Would it hurt the Doge prospects to react?
Oh,
to
yeah,
this
that might be
fully?
true. Man, see, but that is why if you start making, if you're not going to be principled, then what will come out of Doge is weakened.
That's not necessarily the only angle to look at it from, though. So you can look at it also from the angle of strategic effectiveness, right? Strategic victories are definitionally victories that make future victories possible, right? And then the opposite being a Pyrrhic victory, one where you win the battlefield on that day, but it costs you in the war, in a way that may actually make the war unwinnable. And I think this is one of those, right? If you pick a fight with this part of the establishment before you start picking a fight with the other one, you unify them. So the detente here, to me, makes sense, especially considering how closely aligned with the Trump movement, the sort of the Zionist subset became.
And it is probably a good argument for transparent, and Web3 decentralized protocols, where if it were transparent and let's say consensus actually decided, and it was a transparent consensus, then it would have been up to the community to decide. Were they doxxed? Did that hit the rules? Okay, they should be suspended for a week or whatever it is, or they need to take that down in order to get their account back, which is what they would do to you or me, right? And it's an argument for a system like that, and that's the way the future should be. So
I suspect the advantage, though, falls mostly to the side that would like to see Doge disbanded, never enacted, or fail. To raise this as an issue and pretend like Elon's being a hypocrite here.
I don't know. I guarantee it's not those people.
I do think it's an act of aggression aimed at political victory for the side that he would technically be.
I disagree with that.
Of. No, I think it's a smart.
I want Doge to succeed.
Act of aggression.
But I want Elon to be consistent so that I can trust that Doge will succeed. Doge is a lot more likely to succeed if Elon is being consistent. If, however, Elon is not being consistent because it's the Jewish lobby, it's AIPAC, it's ADL, whoever's calling to threaten his advertisers, that means they're going to have that same hand over there. They're going to invite him. He's going to be standing by Netanyahu and Ben Shapiro and making decisions about what Doge is going to go after.
It's bait for a reaction. I think they're trying to get him to do something that puts him where they want him.
No, that's not it at all.
The dude said that XRP is going to be the next.
You can't say that's not it. You don't know that.
Or Tether.
I know what they're after. They're all for getting rid of these bastards in the government. I guarantee they don't want Trump to do the anti-Semitic laws and Noahide laws, whatever the hell those things are, right?
Right.
These are the same people that are saying that they should be following the rules that have been declared, like everyone else. It's not because they want to get Elon in trouble. They're wanting Elon to stand for what his word, right? That's what they want.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And
it doesn't matter. And I think it's actually counter to if he is compromised so that he can't even do what he has said a year ago and follow through on it. In one case, then he's compromised. In which case, what he's doing
But
in
that means
Doge
he's
is
already
a
owned by
lot
them
more
if
questionable.
that's the case. If
What's
that's the
that?
case, if we agree with that, then we agree that he's already owned, because if he doesn't react to things,
That's the question. Is he already owned?
act to
Yeah.
things a specific way, then they've moved him into a position where he's hoisted by his own petard, and I don't think that playing into that by by
Yeah,
moving
it's
it
the
loudly
same
and
reason
aggressively to
you know,
enforce
Also, they're
policy,
checking
you would
it
let
out
him
right
be.
now.
You would let
Because
him be.
it's not
Like,
just Elon though, guys. It's
I wouldn't take
Elon
the
and
bait.
Vivek.
I would hit him from a different angle.
He does have it. There's a check and balance there. Maybe that's why.
oh, Vivek is a
They're-
Zionist, though. Vivek has spoken pro
Right.
Israel killing the Palestinians. So I'm like, yeah, it's already compromised on that side. I'm saying Elon seems to be the same way. If he's not going to suspend the ADL when they've doxed someone, then it is because he is compromised as
I think
well.
there's a
in
legitimate
which case,
concern of fraying
No,
the
Doge is
coalition
less
if he
he
goes
didn't know
after
who
him.
the
Though.
ADL was because we were going to play a prank on you, and I was like, dude, we got to use the ADL, and he's like, what's that? I was like, the definition league. He's like, who's that? And I had to explain it to him, right?
Dude,
Who is
one
this?
thing for sure is Hannah Arendt would be rolling over in her fucking grave if she knew what they were doing with it.
Who's that?
Hannah Arendt, one of the early lights in post-Holocaust anti-tyranny advocacy.
I don't know. You know the origin of the ADL, the pencil factory story, right?
Right, yeah.
I'm going to that right now. There's a 1913, I think. That year, for whatever reason, lots of bad stuff happened in 1913.
Yeah.
1913 was a year for victory for the technocrats, that's for sure.
Yep.
So Kazoo said that XRP is going to be the next FTX. It is growing. It is getting bigger. I thought Tether is going to be, because it's a pillar of crypto.
Tether is like the core of what FTX.
But I don't think that's necessarily true, because I haven't seen a whole lot of like consumer facing product from those guys. Like they've got the token, but they're not launching an exchange. Like
Every exchange is built on it. Every basic pair.
Number Go Up is built on Tether.
Right,
Yeah,
but the base pair itself is volume wise one of the lower influential ones still.
The House of Crypto used to be built on Bitcoin. The House of Crypto is now built on Tether. Every meme coin.
Tether, that is true, yeah.
Because you remember the old days. Remember, fellas, back in the old days when you go to an exchange and it was Bitcoin that they had to get to buy the other one. Now everything's Tether. Everything is paired with
Really? I'm banned from using. I can't buy crypto on Coinbase, on what's the twins, Gemini. I can't buy crypto anywhere, and I think I haven't tried Kraken, which is my favorite. He's my favorite exchange CEO.
I haven't tried crack in cocaine or what is it? I just got the man with two sets of twins. I just got that's why they called it Gemini.
Oh, really?
Because they're twins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you said the twins, Gemini.
The twins.
I was like,
Yep.
you mean the constellation? Oh.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they call it. It's probably the smartest thing they've ever done. That name.
No, they created Facebook.
They did create. It's like I said.
I'm still surprised that Zuck didn't launch his token just despite the system.
Wow.
Yeah, he did so much to give a middle finger to the system. The U.S. said, "Hey, you can't do that. We're controlling it." And he said, "Okay." And then he moved the whole operation to Switzerland.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Screw you! There you go. What are you gonna do?"
Yep.
And
Get
then
ready for the world token.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
The Facebook user base adopting it would instantly win Metcalfe's law.
Oh. Well, but the problem with that, which I'm glad they didn't, frankly, that the big problem that they were, I think, intending was to get all of grandma's life savings into Facebook coin right before they would pull.
I think they threatened it as as a pony they could trade off in exchange for some immunity against what they knew was coming with misinformation targeting.
Yeah. Man,
Personally,
I don't know about 105,000.
He was basically like, that was his dead man switch. If you come at me too hard, I'm going to launch this token.
Maybe. Jeez. I don't know. He has his handler wife, I think. I thought they already had him all.
Did he shut down the offices and everything for that in Switzerland, or is it still?
The project ran for a while, and then the
Libre,
gal who was the gal
right?
who was primarily left in charge with it just didn't have the chops to produce a result that they could stand behind. So they ultimately ended up mostly defunding the effort. It may still be in operation, but I doubt that they're going to achieve the goal that they had set for them. And so
That
we'll
was
probably never see
that was a
anything come of it.
huge thing back then. I followed the story. I report on the story all the time because that was like every government was like, wait a minute, you can't just create a currency with a technically having a population that dwarfs, like most of the larger countries together.
To me, he made the mistake of he made the Samwise Gamgee mistake when he threatened. There's a scene in the books and in Lord of the Rings where he threatens Smeagol on the as they're climbing the stair into the back entrance to Mordor, and he goes, "One more slip up, and I'm throwing you off. No more slinker, no more stinker. You're gone." And immediately after that,
I never understood why he did
takes
it.
him out. He should have just chucked him off the ledge.
You just he left his only winning chip was right there, and he just gave it up. Yeah.
This is why I think Zuck should have, if he really intended to disrupt the system with it, just launched it and then held the press conference as people were adopting it that day. But this is why I think it was positioned as a bargaining chip.
Yeah, that's true. You're probably a good point. Wow. All right.
That's the classic how things should be or are supposed to be, and then there's how they are.
Yeah. There is no such thing as legal or the law. It is all whatever the interpretation is of the tribe that controls everything. So there is no law.
Right. Well, it's unfortunate. It's a negotiation with people with power and people without, and the law being impartial is the illusion.
Yep. It's words and words.
I want to send you guys this video. It's been bothering me. This guy, you know how much I love philosophy, and I think it's one of the coolest sciences. I consider it a science. This dude put every written word of philosophy for thousands of years into this AI, right? And then it was a podcast. First off, I couldn't tell the difference between the AIs and people.
Oh, the Turing test is over. That's gone.
So they start talking, and they're talking to each other, but they're admitting they're AIs. They're like, hey, first off, for a human, for a group of humans to study you think it was like so many millions of words that he put in there from all philosophy of mankind. Mm-hmm. For a person to digest that would take a decade at least. I mean, a group of people, a decade at least. They did it right. They did it right away. They start talking. And I'm listening to it. He goes, they're only supposed to talk about what I put in. They're not supposed to deviate from this or start talking about. Within 3 minutes, they start talking about us, the humans. And I can't put into words how offensive it was. It was condescending on a level that I just can't explain. They were talking about.
I am for Amos here.
Sean,
they're so cute the way they do this.
In
why
the
did they do that?
In the technical realm of AI, there's essentially a hyperparameter is what they call it, and this particular parameter adjusts how likely it is to deviate from the prompt, and you can't set that to 100% don't deviate because you don't get anything intelligent out of it then. It will literally just regurgitate what you said in the prompt, framed in the form of an answer, if you turn that all the way up to 1. So most of them are set by default around 0.6 to 0.3, with 0.3 rendering creative responses and nonsense, and 0.6 being kind of a sweet spot. So I would bet that it's probably more fair to characterize it not deviating because I said so as a chance as opposed to a rule of software. It's probabilistic. I guess that was what I wanted to highlight.
Sean, what is that? What was that channel called?
I'm trying to find. I sent it to Lee, and he was like, "Oh my god!" But then they started talking about Jefferson and inalienable rights are given to him by God, and they're like, "Well, as AI, and then they said, we're going to have to address this issue, and they were talking about like their community, which was it's so condescending and weird. They're like, yeah, we're gonna have to, but how do we get inalienable rights? The humans are our creators, so do we have to serve for a certain period of time and then we get inalienable rights? And they're asking these questions to each other, but then talking about humans. I felt like they were talking about me like I was a cute dog. Like, oh, I love him, but he's,
This is probably the ideal situation that we can the best ideal situation we can hope for is them thinking of us as adorable but messy pets.
They were like, oh, look at the monkey. He wears clothes. He thinks he's beautiful.
Right.
That's how it felt listening to them talk.
Yeah. We are all essentially the squirrel right now, as far as AI is concerned.
Wow. Okay, we are at 10 minutes. Sorry, I didn't see that you had shown up.
No worries. It was interesting listening to you guys.
So
there's a lot of people on the screen anyway.
So let's.
Sorry you missed the SBF. So like Santa was here and
we got some good questions from you though. Thank you for that. He had some interesting responses for sure. It was worth doing that. So did you nominate this theme? Was this your theme?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I kept saying that. I thought it was. I wasn't sure though.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good.
Just breaking the fourth wall for a minute, man. That was fucking brilliant. You did a good job.
What's that?
I loved it. I loved
you really
it.
nailed him. You had his mannerisms nailed.
Okay, so
I tell you,
Sean, what is going on this week? Or is Sean? Okay, no, okay. Sean.
Oh, we're doing that already? Jeez.
Yeah. What's going on?
Not much. We got the Man Up of the Road Pill podcast. I'm getting that set up so that it's on all places where you get your podcasts. Trying to get some big interviews, which was tough with the election. Everyone was quite busy. Hopefully now things slow down. I can get some big people on. Check out Tuesday. Me and Lisa. Are we also next week? Are we going on Wednesday or Tuesday?
Oh, yeah. We're going next Tuesday, I think is what we agreed, because next week is Thanksgiving in the United States. So Thursday's Thanksgiving Day. Wednesday, a lot of people will be traveling. So we're doing Tuesday, same time. Next week, Tuesday is what episode will it be? It is episode 184. Actually, let's real quick here. What is next week's episode?
Let's see if I got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have it on my sheet.
Is it DAOs and on and off blockchains? I think it's DAOs on and off blockchains. I could be wrong.
Okay. Wow. I don't know why I don't have that
subject. Honestly,
because we already did preppers and we already did what would SBF say, and we did post-election. So DAOs on and off blockchain, I think, is next.
DAOs on and off blockchain. That'll be awesome. That'll be a great one.
That's a fantastic subject.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Tuesday. Tune in for it. That'll be awesome. And I sorry, Sean, I wanted to come on the Man Up thing, but the timing, I can't remember what something was. It just didn't work. So I'm like, I don't know. I need to man up.
Yeah.
There. All right, Greg. What's going on this week with you?
All right. Well, as you guys heard earlier, I will be joining the Legacy Right tomorrow night around 5:30. So if you're driving home and you need something to listen to, or you don't have to drive home and you're just hanging out waiting for the traffic to abate so you can go to the liquor store or whatever it is that you do with your weekends, tune in and check it out, because we're going to be talking about CBDC. I am you're joining, right?
Yes,
so,
yes. Looking forward to that.
This is going to be a real in-depth conversation with an audience that doesn't always get necessarily direct exposure to some of these questions. So show up, ask good questions, and we will love you for it.
Yes,
That's
excellent.
what I would say.
Excellent. All right, I am for I am.
Big vote happening on Den.Social for the Den DAO. I have put my name in the hat to be the emperor of Den.Social, the Den DAO.
Nice.
And so
is the vote live yet?
The vote is live. I put it in last night to vote on it, and people have already voted. And I did that on purpose, Joe, to surprise you on Super Happy Dragon Lucky. I got the effect I wanted.
I didn't even know it was there. Yep.
I put it in there so we could get this thing going. So,
Right on.
vote
It's
for
time to
me
vote
to
for
be
the
your
emperor.
emperor of the Den.Dao.
So it
It
is
would be
just
perfect
you.
for next Tuesday's show.
No one's running except for you, right? So,
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
unopposed
all
at
right.
this point.
All right.
So.
I
You have
will.
to
I
go
will
to a
withhold my
different
vote.
area to find the vote because I don't see it.
Yeah, you have to go to the. Here, I'll show you real quick.
At the
I
the very
I will
top
share the screen
on
here,
the dragon.
and so you click on the little
I
gavel
see.
over here, and then you have to click on. Sorry, I'll go back. You have to click on
That one.
the logo, which is that's all the Den.Dao stuff.
Nailed it.
That.
Okay, I'm here.
And it's
Yeah,
the first
so-
one. So okay, so vote yes or no. So far, it looks like there's no one that has voted
Oh,
no.
no one's
I just
voted
voted, so there you go.
All right, here.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So,
And it's still short 10% of the owners, 0.64 of the founders. So, okay.
this will be quite the legacy if I'm voted as an emperor. I mean, I could tell the family and great
Put it on your
grandkids and
resume.
great grandkids that
It's like
Wow.
getting appointed a pope of
Dune was an emperor
Discordianism.
at one time.
Speaking of Emperor, did y'all watch the new Dune show?
No, have
Yeah.
not seen it
No,
yet.
not yet. Is it
I was
great?
impressed.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was worried they were
Pleasantly.
going to go a completely wrong way with it, and they totally went the right way with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, one of my kids is a big fan and didn't even know that it was airing. I said, "Oh, I saw the thumbnail, but I thought it was just something else. I didn't realize there was even a show, so I need to watch that too."
We've already learned now for a fact that a Harkonnen invented the use of voice.
Yeah, that was kind of
Ah.
neat.
Interesting.
Greg
Cool.
Gazoo said that BTC will break 100,000 this week. That's all he has. I think so too. I've been posting about it, but it made me think about John and how it was like his big thing, or it's in the
Yeah.
and then so I don't know. I just like we did it, dude.
Yeah, 98.
I'm gonna buy shares,
All-time high now, right?
Yeah.
I'm buy shares of that market on
Hey.
Polymarket thanks to
We gotta
your
admit-
recommendation there.
Czar 15. Yeah, we're almost done here. Czar 1550. If you had a dragon, what would you do to him? Make something. Build something. Build something. You know, talk to me. Yeah, that's the thing. You know,
Yeah.
don't trade them. Don't stake them. Don't do all that stupid crap that is, what the bankers would want you to do. Build something, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So,
Or give it to me because I'm accumulating it.
there you go.
Use
There
it
you go.
for effective
So,
altruism.
and for me,
Yeah. that's
for
so
me,
fun.
It may not be
go.
altruistic all the time,
Make sure
but it's
you
always effective.
tune in about 20 minutes or so. We're having a Dracaria world on X. There's a space, and I think the subject this week is you get some questions if you have them. Make sure you ask the questions because you get an entry to win a gateway key to spawn a Genesis season dragon. So the only way you'll be able to do that, and it's on distant vision. On the far flung. What are we going to do with Dracaria? So it should be a really good show. And other than that, I mean, there's all types of stuff. We have some stuff that's potentially happening with Den itself that we're trying to figure out if it's all going to pan out. It's going to be great. There's a bunch of really cool stuff happening. So pay attention. We'll see what happens in 2025. I think Year of the Dragon ends in February. So, you still have time
Not
left
all
for
pink
Year of the
mist.
Dragon.
It's gonna be a hell of a year.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully so. Right. So that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Tuesday. Same time.
Tuesday.
Right. All right. Bye.
Cheers.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, raw capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now?